Hello, I'm here with James Timpson, Deputy Fund Manager at Courtiers, for a lowdown on what's been happening in the markets throughout May. James, hi, can you tell us, what have you been observing over the last month?
Yes, Leo. So we've been seeing more market volatility during the month, but despite that, it has been a positive month overall for the likes of the FTSE 100, the Euro Stocks Index and the S&P 500 Index. And that's despite the S&P 500 actually having its worst day for around 2 years at one point during the month. And that should give you an idea of just how volatile markets are at the moment. The fact that it can have its worst day for 2 years and still ends the month positive. We've also seen some volatility in bond markets. So with yields continuing to rise, bond prices have been falling. And the 10-year gilt yield here in the UK, that's risen to its highest level since 2015, ended the month just over 2%. And we've even seen some volatility in currency markets. So at one point, the pound fell to its lowest level against the US dollar for 2 years. And even the yen, that's been struggling as well. So the yen is currently at its lowest level against the dollar for around 20 years. So we're seeing lots of movements in all sorts of markets at the moment.
Have we seen any impacts as a result of the new energy windfall tax?
Yeah, so this is the windfall tax that was unveiled by Rishi Sunak. It's aimed at energy firms and it's temporary. So going to be paying an additional 25% in tax for the next 12 months. And this is aimed at raising around £5 billion to help with soaring energy prices. But its impact on the biggest energy firms, Shell and BP, has actually been very minimal. So even though this is likely to have an impact on their profits, they basically shrugged it off. And actually, both BP and Shell, their share prices have risen by around 10% each during the month. So they've shrugged it off. But we'll have to wait and see whether this windfall tax is actually going to have a significant impact on their profits.
Okay, thanks, James. And just turning to now, after a 4-day break in the markets in the UK, is there anything to note this morning when you've been looking at stocks and the likes?
Yeah, so we logged on this morning and the FTSE 100 is up more than 1% at the time of filming. But a bigger movement we've seen really is just as the gilt yield rising further. It's jumped again. So last time I looked, the 10-year gilt yield was around 2.2%. Again, its highest level now for around 7 years. But other than that, nothing significant has happened over the last 4 days outside of the Jubilee. But obviously, market volatility is still fairly elevated at the moment, so plenty to keep an eye on.
James, thank you very much. I look forward to catching up with you again next month. To our audience, if you've got any questions, please do drop us an email or contact your advisor, and we'll make sure that the right people get to hear those. Thank you.